replace a kitchen faucet. It's not a real complicated process, but it might be some tips in there that'll help you. We have shown several times before how to repair the parts on faucets, but today we're just going to replace the faucet with a brand new one. Before we get started, I want to let you know that it really helps us and will help others find our videos if you'll like our videos and even comment in our video threads. Below here is a place where you can like the video, so if you think this is going to be helpful, please do that now. Also subscribe to our channel, then whenever we release a new video, you will be notified. Alrighty, let's get started. The thing that I like to do is just put a towel down, make sure you have a little something to catch the water in if you need to, and a few rags, so not a big deal. Make sure you shut the water off. We're going to do that here right at the sink. We've got shut-offs. If you don't have shut-offs at the sink, then you need to go find the main shut-off in your house and make sure that's off. All right, once we got that off, we'll go ahead and release any pressure out of the top. Now I'm going to unscrew the supply lines at the top, and I'm just going to let them hang on down here because we're going to reattach those to our new faucet. Okay, the next step is to loosen the nut that holds the faucet up under the sink. And that can be a little tricky. This is called a basin wrench, and it's made for that purpose. You can see it turns at a right angle to allow you to get it up in that space and turn. So we'll be sticking this up in there. We'll clamp onto the nut and then rotate it. That's tightening. We'll go this way to loosen. We'll loosen that nut and we'll back it down. There's a couple other things you can do, and I've saved a few of these things over the years. Sometimes faucets will come with these little extension type tools where you can fit that onto the nut and then turn this. Here's another one from a different brand. Our new faucet actually comes with one like this that has the nut inside of the extension. So this is made actually to bring the faucet down. We're going to screw this up from the bottom, and then you take this little thing to rotate to get leverage, and you actually leave this in place under the sink. So that's kind of a newer style, and that'll work well for putting the new faucet in. But getting the old one out, we're going to have to try a few things to do that, and I'll show you what I can on camera to the best of my ability. All right, we're under the sink now, and I'm just taking the time to remove some of these little flexible pipes that go from one to the other. So I've taken all these off. This is our spout going up into the sink where the water comes out of the faucet. But this is actually the control over here where our two supplies went in. And then one of these goes out to the sprayer and one goes out to the spout. So now this is where we're going to work. So I'm bending these aside a little bit. Now I'm going to show you how to use the basin wrench to loosen that up. All right, now these are those tools that I talked about. That one's too big, but it's got another setting here. Let's try that. Nope, that's not going to work. Let's try this one. No, that one's too big too. So we're going to try the basin wrench. So hopefully you get the hang of that, how that works. You got to just keep rotating it until you get it loose enough to bring it down by hand. All right, we'll finish the rest of it up by hand. Okay, we've got the parts off. I'm going to pull that out. Okay, take it out the top, Tyler. All right, there's one. Now we're going to take the basin wrench and do this one next. Okay, pull that one out, Tyler. There we go. All right, Got the old one out. Got the faucet out now. We're just going to clean up here. There's a couple of things I want to show you too up here about seating the new faucet in. Some faucets have a rubber ring on the bottom, but some don't. So we'll take a look at our new faucet here. So the bottom of this is going to have like an escutcheon ring here. So I don't know if you can see this on the video, but there's a little place for a rubber ring to go in here. We'll have to dig all the parts out, but if you have a rubber ring on the bottom of your faucet, then that will seal against the sink. Otherwise, you're going to need to put a small bead of plumber's putty there and squish it into the plumber's putty. So just keep that in mind. We are installing a Delta faucet, and ours works this way. We've got this little rubber ring, which we told you about. Then this goes through the sink. This slides on from the bottom. This slides on from the bottom. Threads tight by hand. And then we come up with a screwdriver and then run these screws in to pull that faucet down completely. So every faucet's going to be a little bit different, but look at the instructions and figure out what the assembly is on yours and make sure you get everything prepped and ready to go. I did want to show you real quickly, if you don't have that rubber ring, you want to make a little bit of, make a long, skinny little snake here out of plumber's putty, and you want to lay that around the opening like this, and then squish the faucet down in there. And anything that oozes out, you just clean out on the side. So that's another way of doing that. All right, before I tighten this, I want to show you a little tip. Some faucets, yeah, and this one is the case, they don't go all the way around 360 degrees. So this one, see, it stops there and stops there. So I want to center that movement cycle up on the sink. You don't want it to where it'll only go so far and stop. So I've got that kind of centered up now so I can tighten that. Another thing is, I'm going to have Tyler help me here, but if you have somebody hold it on top while you're tightening it below, then you can make sure that it's sitting on the sink in the right spot where you'd like it to be. So we'll do that with all these, and then we'll show you how to hook it all up at the end. Okay, you got it tight? Don't let it move. Okay, we're going to finish up here. We've decided to use a little plumber's putty around this one. Didn't look like it had a very good rubber seal. We're going to wrap this up, and you'll figure out by reading the directions how yours wraps up. So that's not a big deal. But the final piece we're going to show you is how to connect the supply lines under the sink. And then we'll get right back up here and show you how it works. Hook up the supply lines now. Now earlier I said in the video that we were going to leave these attached, but our new faucet came with these long supply lines, so we're not going to use those. So we're going to remove our old supply lines, and I've already taken the time to loosen those up. On here you'll see, if you can make that out on the camera, one's blue and one's red. That kind of tells us which is hot and cold. I'm going to hook up the hot right now. The cold's way over here behind the garbage disposal, so I'll just get that later once we stop the camera. But I wanted to show you one thing. These come with a built-in ferrule. You can see this is a rigid tube, and then there's a little flared out piece here that sits into our valve. That's called a ferrule. This comes with a little rubber washer on it. So these are really reliable, and they don't tend to leak at all. But if you have something that just has a round ferrule that's a metal ferrule, sometimes what I'll do is take a little bit of this thread sealer and just wipe it on that ferrule, not on the threads. The threads don't actually seal anything. The actual ferrule sits into a little flared area in the valve, and that's what seals it. So I put a little bit of thread sealer on that. So if you have trouble with yours leaking, it's a little tip for you. And last thing you want to do here is remove the aerator from the faucet the first time when you turn the faucet on. This faucet comes with a little tool here. Oops, I almost dropped it. You know, that's another tip too I didn't mention, but we always put the plugs in the sink when we're working on stuff like this, just in case you drop something, you don't lose it and have to chase it down. So I've removed that aerator right there with this little tool. Your faucet may be a little different how it comes out, but you get the idea. So now what I'm doing is kind of bleeding the first bit of water out without the aerator so that I don't clog up the aerator when I first get my debris and junk that comes through from working on the faucet. So we get that back in. Pull the plug out. See what we get. Hot, cold. Now, in this whole process, I made one mistake. When you're making videos, sometimes you start thinking about the video itself and not what you're doing. So I made a kind of a silly mistake in this video. If you know what it was, leave it in the comments below. It's not important to the instructions of how to put the faucet in, but it was just something that I mixed up that you may have caught, and I'd be curious who did catch it. Thanks for watching. I hope this really helps you to make repairs around your house, helps your family enjoy your home a little bit more. At Home Maintenance Solution, our slogan is bring your family home, and really hope that this helps you bring your family home.